trivia. People who know. Tonight's the night. No more laid-back days, no more non-critical games under the Florida sun. All the spring training hype and speculation are over. It's time to play ball. The Tigers have added some fresh faces, and it's time to see if Sparky's team has what it takes to smoke the competition. It's all for real tonight as the Tigers take on the Rangers in the season opener next. Tigers Baseball, brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. For all you do, this Bud's for you. And presented by your Greater Michigan and Metro Detroit Ford dealers, where their commitment to quality makes them #1.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Arlington Stadium in Arlington, Texas. I'm George Kell, along with Al Kaline. It's opening day in Texas. Opening day 1989, a big affair here, and they're doing it up right at Arlington Stadium. They're having a big crowd tonight, a sold-out crowd, only the second time in the history of the Rangers since coming down here, Al, and they're very enthused about a brand-new ball club.
And rightfully so, George. They have 14 new members on this ball club from a year ago. They made some big trades. They thought they were going nowheres with the people they had, so they said, let's change the personnel. And right now, they have a hype around here as if they think they're going to go all the way. I think that might be premature, but they are a much better ball club.
When they introduced the ball players, all of them got a big rousing reception, but the big reception was saved for Nolan Ryan, who came over here from the Houston Ball Club as a free agent. Of course, he's a native of Texas, a hero in this state and in baseball for a long, long time. He's won 273 ball games. So they're on go here tonight. They've had, this has been sold out for a long time. It's a slow-coming crowd. There's a lot of empty seats yet, but they're going to be here tonight. Charlie Huff will pitch for the Rangers, 41-year-old knuckleballer. He won 15 ball games last year, lost 16, and his mound opponent will be Jack Morris. Of course, Jack, the winningest pitcher in all of baseball in the 1980s, and Jack won 15, lost 13 last year. Did not pitch well, as we said on the pregame show in spring training, but it's a new game tonight.
It's a new game, and you have to know Jack Morris. He's a great competitor. He can't get pumped up for the games in spring training. Jack Morris starting his 10th consecutive opening day. Now that ties him with Walter Johnson. The all-time record opening day is by Robin Roberts, 12 times. So that's a tremendous honor, and that tells you what type of a pitcher Jack Morris has been over a long period of time.
Well, you know, they say you don't know the players unless you have a scorecard, and that's true. If you look at the Tiger lineup tonight, Kenny Williams, Torey Lovullo at the top of the lineup. They were not in last year's starting lineup. Chris Brown was not. Fred Lynn was not in the lineup last year. There's 4 in the Tiger lineup tonight we have not seen before. The same is about true over with the Rangers. They have so many new people, but names that you will recognize. Buddy Bell is coming back. Buddy is not playing regular anymore. He's going to be the designated hitter, and another rousing reception for him.
He might have been or is the most popular Ranger of all time, and certainly they're happy to have him back. He knows his role, and I think that's very important for a ball club to have a veteran who is going to be the DH, knows how to handle the DH situation, because it's a lot different than playing every day. You sit on the bench, you don't do anything until you hit, and I think you need a veteran to do that.
Well, to cap off the festivities here tonight for the opening night ceremonies, Tom Landry, very popular football coach with the Dallas Cowboys for 29 years, is going to throw out the first ball. Tom is in the Ranger dugout right now, and it looks like everybody that's anybody with the press is down there with their cameras getting ready to go. A very popular selection to throw out the first ball, and this man is a legend in his time.
Well, he's just been a great individual, not only maybe one of the best coaches of all time, but he is a super individual. He is loved here in Texas, as he should be. Many feel that the way the new management took over the handling of Tom Landry was not right. I agree with that, but he is revered here in Texas, and rightfully so.
You were telling me a moment ago they're going to devote one whole month, one television station here in town, one whole month, a sports program each night to Tom Landry.
Well, just 2 weeks. They are. Each sportscast, they're going to have a different segment on each sportcast, something about Tom Landry by his former players, his other coaches, who so many coaches have gone on into football, become head coaches someplace else, and even by school kids who are doing their little bit on each on the station. So that tells you what they think of Tom Landry here in Texas.
And if you want to hype it up a little bit more, tonight the new owners of the Texas Ball Club will be introduced, and George W. Bush, son of the President of the United States, is going to be the new owner, part of the new ownership. He is here, and he'll be down on the field to be introduced. So it's almost like a Hollywood gathering here in Arlington Stadium, and we're not used to seeing that down here. It's sort of a laid-back crowd most of the time, but Al, there's nothing laid back here tonight.
No, it's a beautiful night. In fact, it's a cool night. We're not used to coming to Arlington here. It's only 70 degrees right now. Yesterday, they tied an all-time record, 94 degrees, when the Tigers worked out. It was very hot, windy, but it's a pleasant night tonight, and you see there on your monitor Tom Landry and the one of the owners, Mr. Childs.
We're waiting right now for the Texas Ball Club to take the field. The umpires have been out for some time. They've been at home plate, and here is Mr. Childs on your extreme left, and Mr. Tom Landry. And this is George Bush to your extreme right, the young fella that is following them out to the mound. So we're getting ready for the opening ceremonies of the throwing out of the first baseball.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the director of Texas mound. We're throwing out tonight's ceremonial first pitch for the 1989 season.
George, we were talking what would be a great plus for this organization. Somehow make this fellow one of the owners, or get him involved with the organization here.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that a moment ago. I think it would be great. It would be tremendous to have him as a part owner of this ball club. Maybe he doesn't want to be a part owner of a ball club. He might want to get back into coaching, but whatever he wants to do, that's what he will do. And you can hear the reception given to Tom Landry right now. These people, I tell you, he's an institution here.
Oh, they're banging their seats. They're stomping their feet, the seats, everything. Tremendous ovation for this man.
They're not going to stop either. And he is touched. He is a very decent, good human being, as Al pointed out a moment ago. We had a chance to meet him last year when he was here for a ball game, and he's very touched right now, as he should be. They are just completed introducing the new ownership of the club, too. And here's the first pitch, and we're ready to go. Tom Landry said, this is not my game.
A little different throwing a baseball than a football.
Yeah. Very impressive. As we said a moment ago, you know, they've had this franchise here for a long time. They have not enjoyed great success down here. But this is a brand new year, and they're all excited with new players, new ownership, and a lot of people. Al Kaline is here. He's ready, and he has the starting lineups.
Okay, here's the batting lineup for the Tigers. Leading off, Kenny Williams in center field. Batting second, Torey Lovullo, first base. The third batter, Lou Whitaker at second. Batting fourth, the shortstop, is Alan Trammell. Batting fifth, Fred Lind in left field. Batting 6th, Matt Noakes, the catcher. Batting 7th at third base is Chris Brown. The 8th batter in right field is Chet Lemon. The 9th batter to DH tonight, Pat Sheridan. Defensively, for Texas, in the outfield, Incaviglia, Espy, and Sierra in the outfield. Buechele, Fletcher, Franco, Palmero, the new fellow at first base. Petrelli is the catcher. And, of course, the veteran pitcher, 41 years old, and what a wonderful job he has done. You see his record of a year ago, 15 wins with a very poor ball club. He has been an outstanding pitcher for a long time. You see his innings pitched, and there's no great mystery to Charlie Hough. You will see the knuckleball probably 80% of the time. Great control with it. He has had some success against Detroit. On 1-1, he has always pitched good games. He's 1-1 last year with a 1.93 earned run average, and he's 5-9 lifetime against the Detroit Tigers. Since 1982, Charlie Hough has won 22% of the Rangers game. That's better than anybody else in baseball at this present time since 1982. Jack Morris, on the other hand, has won 19% of the games for the Detroit Tigers. So he has been an outstanding pitcher for the Texas Rangers.
And as Al pointed out, we'll see knuckleballs tonight. 80, 85, maybe 90% at times. It's just according to how well he gets it over the plate. Most of the success the Tigers have had against Charlie Hough has been when he's been wild, and in a couple of ball games when the catcher just could not hold on to the ball. In fact, in one game in Detroit, if you remember, a couple of years ago, I think 6 passed balls led to the Rangers' downfall. So we're ready to go. Kenny Williams, the leadoff man for the Tigers. He'll be followed by Torey Lovullo and then Lou Whitaker.
Kenny Williams playing. Many thought that Billy Beane would play center field, but Sparky Anderson wanted a better defensive player in the outfield, and Kenny has had a good spring.
And the first pitch of the game, it's in for a strike. Rich Garcia is the umpire behind the plate. Ted Hendry is at first base, Rocky Rowe at second, and Larry Young, the umpire, at third base. That'll make it strike 2 as he goes after the knuckleball.
And it should be a good night for Charlie Hough with the knuckleball. The wind is blowing out towards right center field. Now that, we always thought, helped the knuckleball pitcher.
He sends it high into the air behind second base. This ball is going to be picked off by the second baseman, Julio Franco, a newcomer to the Texas Ball Club. That's one out, and the batter will be Torey Lovullo. Torey had no idea at all when he went to spring training he would be opening the season at first base or in any position. He was just trying to make the ball club as a utility man.
And you see there, he's more of a pull hitter, and he's a good fastball hitter, so it'd be interesting to see how he does handle the knuckleball.
And the pitch to Torey. Hits it high in the air to right field on the first pitch. Easy play for Ruben Sierra, who drifts back with the wind, puts it away. 2 outs in the first inning for Lou Whitaker.
George, when I faced the knuckleball hitters, Wilhelm and the likes of that, I always thought the knuckleball would go down and away from a right-handed batter, but always go down. The ones that gave me the most trouble would be the ones that would, for some reason, would come up and in on the right-handed hitter.
I know you shortened up on your swing. You hit different against them than you're supposed to.
Well, I had great success against knuckleball pitchers. I was able to hit the ball up the middle and wait to the last fraction of a second to swing the bat and see what the ball was going to do. One thing I always told myself, don't try to hit home runs off the knuckleball pitchers.
Yeah, just the short, compact swing. Mm-hmm. 1 ball, 1 strike to Whitaker. He bats with 2 outs and nobody on in the first inning. And the 1-1 pitch is hit high in the air to center field. This is going to be an easy play. It's going to be an easy inning as Espy is there to put it away. Tigers go out 1, 2, 3. Nothing across as we go to the bottom of the first.
Rangers, leading off Cecil Espy in center field. Batting second, Scott Fletcher at shortstop. The third batter at first base, Rafael Palmeiro. Batting fourth, the right fielder, Ruben Sierra. Batting fifth, Julio Franco is at second base. Batting sixth, Pete Incaviglia in left field. The seventh batter, the catcher, Gino Petralli. Batting eighth, the all-time favorite here, Buddy Bell, the DH. And the ninth batter, third baseman, Steve Buechele. Defensively for the Tigers in the outfield, Lynn, Williams, and Lemon. Brown, Trammell, Whitaker, Lovello, and Noakes behind the plate. And Jack Morris on the mound for the Detroit Tigers. We mentioned Jack making his 10th consecutive opening day start. That's quite a record, tying the great Walter Johnson in that regard in the American League. Jack, a 15-game winner last year. You see his record 15-13. Became the only major league pitcher with 15 wins in each of his last 7 seasons. Jack wild in spring training, hit rather hard, but we have got to know Jack Morris. When the chips are down, he seems to be able to elevate himself one more notch, and certainly he'll have to do that tonight here against the Texas Rangers, who I feel have really improved themselves as far as run production. And you see there, 75% of the times Jack will throw his fastball, and forkball he's going to have to throw a little bit more than that and get it over the plate against a good hitting ball club.
Changeup, it mentions 5%, and he's been throwing a lot of changeups in spring training. Here's a strike to the leadoff man, Cecil Espy. Espy, Fletcher, and Palmeiro will be the Ranger batters here in the first inning.
Espy may be the key to this Ranger ball club. They don't know what to expect from him. He has tremendous speed.
He fouls it away.
George, they know pretty much what to expect from their other players in the lineup. This guy has to come through if they're going to be a real good team.
Now, there was an article in the paper today said if he gets on first base, he can handle second, third, and home, but he's got to get where he cannot steal first base. So they're concerned about his hitting. Here's the 2-strike pitch. That'll make it 1-2. Chicago beat California this afternoon 9-2. Game played in Anaheim.
Was that young Abbott?
He was supposed to be the pitcher. He did. It was not a good start for the young man, as the White Sox won over the Angels 9-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ooh, it was close. Rich Garcia calling the balls and strikes tonight. Indicates it's ball 2 and strike 2. As Jack Morris gets ready. Oh, he's going to have to hurry. This is going to be a tough play. And he got him on a very close play at first base.
Sparky Anderson says Jack Morris is the best athlete he's ever seen. Now, Sparky sometimes exaggerates, but I'm not too sure he's not right. Jack Morris, you see how he falls towards first base. He's able to get back in time and set his feet and fire sidearm, which Jack does not do at all, and throw a strike to first base.
And you can see how close it is. Ooh.
And he definitely was out.
Half step. That's 1 away, and it'll bring up Scott Fletcher. This little guy just signed a brand new multi-million-dollar contract this winter. He was a free agent.
And you see why he's led the Rangers the last 3 years in batting. He sprays the ball around. You can't play him any one place.
This one's coming back just above our broadcast booth. Many times, most of the time, when we come to the Texas Stadium, we watch the temperature here. It's usually around 100 or 103, 4, 5 at game time, and a very pleasant 70 tonight at game time. As Al pointed out, when the Tigers worked out here yesterday afternoon, it was 94 degrees. And a big storm moved through here last night and cooled it off a bit. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Scott Fletcher, the batter, 1 out, nobody on. And the pitch from Morris. We'll make it 2-2. Cubs a winner today. They opened at home against Philadelphia. Mitch Williams struck out the side in the 9th inning with the bases loaded.
But he struggled.
He struggled.
He
right.
surely did.
He looked like he had been through a prize fight when the game was over. Here's the sport ball of the let-up pitch in the dirt, and it's 3-2 to Fletcher. They got Mitch Williams from this ball club in the deal that sent the next batter, Rafael Palmeiro, to the Rangers. Ball 3, strike 2. And the payoff pitch to Scott Fletcher. He watching. So the first base runner of the ball game is Fletcher. He's at first, 1 out. We'll get a look at this young kid, Palmeiro, that they like very much.
Oh, he's a fine-looking young hitter. He sprays the ball all around. Doesn't have a lot of power. Only hit 8 home runs in a small ballpark in Wrigley Field, but he has a good-looking young hitter. Never strikes out. Very seldom ever strikes out.
Well, those stats showed you something there. Boston led the American League in batting last year. Texas was number 11 and Tigers number 12 in the league. One ball, no strikes to Palmeiro. He played left field for the Cubs last year. But he's going to be the first baseman for this ball club.
That's Dave Oliver flashing the signs for the Rangers. Toby Harrah is the first base coach, another big favorite that had some good years. In fact, he was traded for Buddy Bell.
Ball 2, no strikes. And the pitch. It's high ball 3, 3-0 as Morris is getting into a bit of a jam here in the first inning. He got Espy on a very close play at first base. Walked Fletcher on a 3-2 pitch. And he's behind Palmeiro, 3-0. And a strike. So's Rich Garcia. Ball 3, strike 1. See the base runner. He might be running on the 3-1 pitch. Palmeiro handles the bat well. He'll get a piece of it. Or they expect him to. And we'll see what happens. Nobody running and a foul tip right into the mid of Noakes. Makes it ball 3, strike 2.
A pretty good chance he will be running now. We mentioned that Rafael does not strike out very often. Generally puts the ball in play.
And they get a pretty good jump on Jack. They like to run on him. And there he goes. Ball hit right back to the mound. So Palmeiro is out. He bounces it back to Morris. Fletcher goes to second with 2 outs. And the batter will be Ruben Sierra.
We saw a little bit of Ruben in spring training this year. He has really bulked up, put on about 20-25 pounds, and a lot of his the upper body. You see the lot bigger upper body than he was a year ago. He had a good year. 23 home runs. He had 7 home runs in spring training.
And he had 30 home runs 2 years ago. So he's capable. That's why he's hitting in the number 4 spot. A strike at the knees. Jack trying to get out of the first inning. A runner at second base, 2 outs. Tigers went out 1, 2, 3. In case you joined us late. We play this fellow deep, well deep in right and center field. And he fouls this one away. In California today, Jerry Russ was supposed to be the starting pitcher. I assume he was. His battery mate was Carlton Fisk, and they were to become the oldest opening day battery in 81 years.
Who was the oldest?
Well, at 81 years, that's the age. The oldest that ever was Rick Farrell, our old buddy Rick Farrell, and Johnny Niggling in 1944. They were just a few days older than these fellows.
Carlton Fisk is coming off maybe one of his better years ever last year. He's getting better with age, just like Bobby Boone. Maybe catcher's not as tough as we thought it was.
He's a little bit miffed. The new manager over there, Torborg, says he's going to rest him 2 or 3 days a week, and he doesn't like that. Here's a pitch low. So Jerry Royce and Carlton Fisk, combined ages of 81 years and 21 days, and before that the record was Rick Farrell and Johnny Niggling at 79 years and 3 months. I played in that game, 1944, opening day in Washington. Rick behind the plate and Johnny Niggling the pitcher. The 2-2 pitch. Threw it right by him. Jack Morris gets out of a jam, a bit of a jam here in the first inning, and at the end of one, it's 0-0. Well, our first trivia call tonight is going to Holt, Michigan. Al, you got the question.
Question: who was the first manager of the Texas Rangers back in 1972? My first clue: many feel he was the greatest hitter of all time.
Yep. I'll buy that.
That limits to about 3 people, doesn't it?
Yeah. Alan Trammell, the leadoff man. Trammell, Lynn, and Noakes for the Tigers in the second inning. And the 1-strike pitch. It's strike 2 as Rich Garcia goes up with the right hand again. Boy, you wonder what in the world has happened to that once proud California franchise. Trammell strikes out on 3 straight pitches. We got the knuckleball by him. California lost 12 in a row at the end of last season. They lose here today on opening day at home, 9-2. We're going to pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network. Well, sometimes real life is funnier than fiction. You can catch an all-new Bernie's Blooper Special. That's Saturday night at 7, only on Channel 4. Here's a looper that'll be caught by Franco back on the grass. Fred Lynn was hit right on the fist and just looped it towards second base.
Well, it looks like Charlie Huff has an excellent knuckleball tonight, and plus the fact he's getting it over the plate.
Yeah, he hasn't been behind anybody. Here's Matt Noakes, who had a big spring. Last year, he couldn't get on track in spring training. It carried over into the early part of the year. And he's hoping the same thing will happen this year. Good spring, good start. Tigers looking for their first base runner against the veteran knuckleballer. One ball, 1 strike to Matthew. They play him as a dead pull hitter. It's only .330 down each line. Ball carries very well in this park. Knuckleball hangs outside.
What a difference this ballpark is now than when back in the early 70s, before they put the scoreboard all the way around in the outfield. They ran a lot of good power hitters out of this town.
This one's going to be out of play. Back into the crowd.
Now this is one of the better home run fields in the American League when the wind is blowing out, and it usually is.
Yeah, you remember Jeff Burris had 25 home runs and was the most valuable player in the league, and he just couldn't stand it here. He had too many drives that the wind would just hold up or bring back into the playing field, and he was finally traded to the Atlanta Ball Club. 2-2 pitch. And a ball hit deep in the center, but it's going to be caught. Hit on a line and hit hard. Tigers go out 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the second. It's 0-0. Our first trivia call tonight went to Dick Gober of Holt, Michigan, and Dick could not answer the question. So our second call is going to Toledo, Ohio. You might read that question, Al.
Okay, who was the first manager of the Texas Rangers back in 1972? He was considered the greatest hitter of all time. Played for the Boston Red Sox. The Splendid Splinter.
You're getting close. That should be easy. Rangers have not had too many name managers, and this guy is a name, a legend, whatever. Julio Franco's the batter. We got Julio from the Cleveland Ball Club.
There's a strength that our coaching staff informs us that he likes the ball up and out over the plate. Coaches around the league and scouts felt this fellow was the best second baseman in baseball last year.
Offensively, I'll buy that. Here it is, 303.
They said he made the switch to second baseman shortstop very well with no trouble.
It's strike 2 to Julio, and he strikes him out. Franco swinging at a split finger pitch, I believe, and he strikes out. Take a look at it.
You're seeing now what Jack Morris wasn't able to do and did not do in spring training. Get ahead of the hitters, so then he can throw the split finger pitch with 98% of the time is out of the strike zone, but he throws it so hard the hitters swing at it anyhow.
Pete Incaviglia. He's the strong man down here. If they're going to have any home run punch, he's got to hit 25 or 30.
Well, they're hoping that he cuts down on the strikeouts. Each year he leads the league or very close to it. Only 153 times last year, George.
Yeah, only 153 times. That's unbelievable.
But that's down from 1986 when he struck out 185 times.
It's beyond my imagination to strike out 185 times in 1 year. I think DiMaggio struck out 363 times in his career. The 1-1 pitch. It's low. Ball 2 and strike 1.
Well, Mickey Mantle always tells it when he speaks. He struck out so many times in his career. It's like playing 3 seasons without going to bat.
Yeah. 0 for 3 seasons. That's true. This one is over but low. Ball 3, strike 1. Jack wanted to get ahead of this big guy. This is when he hits best, when he has the count in his favor. Hey, it's happy birthday today to Gary Pettis, 31 years old.
On a disabled list. Still has that bad thumb.
A 3-1 pitch. Ball hit on the ground. Hey, great play by Brown, and he throws him out. A tough play. He was going to his left, short hop, and he picked it off.
Yes, sir. As you know, George, you being a great third baseman your day, this ball is a tough play. Looked like it was going to take a big hop, and it stays down. And you see the quick reflexes by the big man over at third base.
Yeah, you could have played that ball into left field easily. Good play by Chris Brown. And the batter is Gino Petrelli. He fouls it away. Look out in the crowd. Gives you some this gives you some idea of sports salaries when President Bush threw out the first pitch yesterday in the Baltimore game against Boston. You know what the president makes, $250,000. The opening day pitcher for Baltimore was making $650,000. How about that? Dave Smith.
I think the president only makes more than about 3 starting pitchers
in all of the starting
opening
day games yesterday and today. Only 3 pitchers make less money than the president. What was the old saying when Babe Ruth was making more than the president back in 1930? Someone said, you're making 80,000, you make more than the president. He said, I'm having a better year than the president.
I had a better year than the president.
Yeah, I had a better year than the president. Oh,
can't say that anymore.
no, I don't think so. Pitch to Petrelli is hit foul past first base. Talking about the California franchise a moment, they got away from me. They lost 12 in a row at the end of last season. They got bombed at home today before a big turnout, opening day, and they're going to have to do something with that franchise. It is a great, great franchise, but
a lot like the Yankees, they tried to buy winners, and they all have gone sour on it. You cannot win pennants unless you grow some people from the minor leagues. You can't keep paying these guys big salaries because more times than not, they always have big years after you sign them to long-term contracts.
yeah. Mr. Autry's got to be, Mr. Gene Autry, the owner of the ball club, got to be very much disappointed. One of the great people in this game. Petrelli strikes out. At the end of 2, it's still 0-0. Well, our second trivia call tonight went to Jeff Darien of Toledo, and Jeff Darien was not at home, so he could not answer our question.
It'd be pretty hard to answer if you're not home to answer the phone.
Unless he's carrying a
But this is one of the
phone.
easier ones, and I can't give you any more clues. Who was the first manager of the Texas Rangers back in 1972? Hall of Famer, and he'd rather be fishing than doing anything else.
Well,
Greatest hitters that ever lived.
Yeah, our third call tonight will be going to Battle Creek. Chris Brown has a big rip at the knuckleball. Somebody just reminded me that the opening night, the man who threw out the first ball here tonight, there's not too many pitchers making more than he was making last year. Here's a ground ball towards second. Julio Franco picks it off, and Chris Brown is out. That's 7 in a row retired by Charlie Huff. That little note said Mr. Landry's making right at $1 million a year. And some of these pitchers are making more than that, of course, but he ranks right up there with them.
Now, does that stop?
He's got a year to go on his
does he?
contract. It will not stop for another year.
And he pitched. He was 29 years with the.
29 years coach of the Cowboys, the only coach they've ever had.
Absolutely. Why didn't he buy the Cowboys?
I don't know. He might have taken a look at them playing. I didn't want them.
I don't want the Cowboys.
I don't want the Cowboys. Yeah. No, I don't know. That's not right. No. The Cowboys will be back, and Mr. Landry knew that. Chester Lemon takes it inside. Ball 2 and strike 1 to Chet. Here's a base hit into right. Chester Lemon gets the first Tiger base hit as he waited and hit it to the opposite field. That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, and if we could ever get another shot of that from center field, that ball clearly goes down and away from the right-handed batters. And take a look at it again. Watch the ball sail away just like a little breaking ball, go down and away. You really have to stay on it to the last instant before you swing the bat.
And if you try to pull it, it's a bouncer to the shortstop. Pat Sheridan is the designated hitter for the Tigers tonight.
What you almost have to try to do is get jammed with the ball. Wait so long that you almost jam yourself.
They will keep an eye on Lemon. They like to run against the knuckleballer because very often the catcher will drop it, pops out of his mitt or gets by him, and they'll run more on a knuckleball pitcher.
See, Pat has been pretty much a pole hitter, and this young man, when he hits the ball, can hit it as hard as anybody.
The 1-strike pitch and a drive down the line. This may be fair. It's foul outside the line. Oh, that would have been a peck of trouble. Sheridan swinging late. drives it down the left field line.
Well, that's the type of swing that you have to have, George. You wait and try to go with it. Hit it the opposite way. When you do that, that means you're staying on the ball. You're not pulling your head away and trying to pull the ball down the line.
What a nice note here from this young lady, Mary Kapuscinski. I remember her from last year and the year before. She's always here. Says say hello to my family in Royal Oak and my friends who are scattered throughout Michigan. And go Wolverines, she says.
They did.
And our congratulations once again. We talked about the Wolverines on the pregame show.
Oh, you know what would be a great tribute to those young men? The opening day in Tiger Stadium, having parade on the field.
We'll put you in charge of that.
Oh, no. I know that things are already been set months in advance. I don't want Mr. Campbell calling me and giving me any trouble, but I know they've had arrangements made months in advance for opening day.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And another foul ball.
Well, we're going to have good seats for opening day.
I hope so. I hope we have good seats. We are going to be there. We will telecast on Friday. It was just announced this afternoon about 5 o'clock that Tiger Stadium is sold out, and we will be telecasting on opening day. And looking forward to it, I might add. That's Sheridan, strikes out. That's 2 strikeouts for Charlie Huff tonight. Jack Morris has 3.
It might look easy from the stands, but when you're at the plate and this thing is really dancing.
So we go to the top of the batting order. Kenny Williams popped to second base his first time up. We're going to have to turn Chester loose, see what happens. Charlie Huff is going to keep him close. Chester does not steal many bases. But if you've got a chance, it would be against a knuckleball pitcher. Charlie Huff gives you that very unorthodox stop. Most of them come down to their belt buckle, but he stops around the letters. And I guess you keep expecting him to go down. Chet gets a good lead. He's up around the bill of his cap now.
He stops a couple of times. He really confuses the base runner. He'll stop once, and then he'll go back up and stop again, and that confuses the base runner. It gets you sort of leaning, and then all of a sudden you start going back towards first base, so you don't get a good jump.
Pitches inside to Ken Williams. They've got a dandy going over in Minnesota. 1-0 Minnesota in front of the Yankees. They're in the bottom of the 4th inning. That's Frank Viola against Tommy John. 45, 46-year-old Tommy John. That's not an easy ballpark to pitch in either. The Homer Dome, artificial surface, balls jump through the infield quickly, but Tommy John has given up only 1 run in the first 4 innings. Frank Viola has given up none. There goes the runner, and he gets away from him. Chester did not see the ball get away from the catcher. Otherwise, he could have gone all the way to third. He was diving into second base. Well, that's the percentage you play. Take a look at it.
He scored a stolen base. Chester with his head down. The ball gets by the catcher Petralli. He has led the American League in pass balls the past 2 years, of course, and you can understand why when you have to catch Charlie Huff every time he's on the mound.
Stolen base for Chet Lemon. He's at second with 2 outs. It's ball 2, no strikes to Ken Williams. And a strike makes it 2-1. Chester has been the only Tiger base runner Rangers had one. Scott Fletcher walked in the first inning. He got as far as second base. With a check swing foul. Well, the history of knuckleball pitchers is they go on and on. I think Wilhelm was 45 when he retired from the major leagues. This guy's 41. Doyle Alexander has been very effective in spring training, throwing the knuckleball for the first time. He's nearing 40, and he thinks it might extend his career. There's another one that gets by him, and Lemon goes to third base. That'll be a wild pitch charged against Huff. Boy, this is very important now. Take a look at the pitch.
Look at the break on this ball. That was better than any curveball you will ever see anybody throw.
If ever the hitter has an advantage, or at least even with the pitcher, it's right now. Charlie Huff wants to throw a strike. He wants to throw the knuckleball. He cannot rear back and throw the hard knuckleball with a runner at third base. So Kenny Williams might get a good pitch to hit. He might have to throw it a little bit easier than normal. He walked him. So Williams gets a walk. Tigers have him at first and third for Torey Lovullo. Torey flied to right field his first time.
Well, this is important that he's on base. Now it creates a hole over at first base with Palmeiro now has to hold Kenny Williams on because he does have good running speed. Gives you a little bit of an advantage with that man on first base. They played Torey well around to right field.
Ken Williams has great speed, and Sparky just might want him to throw the ball around a little. He might start Williams. Charlie Huff gets ready. And the pitch is inside. You got to be a little bit different pitcher with a runner at third base in a scoreless ball game. Torrey singled. You saw the graphic a moment ago. Singled his first time at bat in the major leagues. That was in 1988. Tigers would take a little bitty single right here. This inning started when Brown bounced out. Lemon singled. Sheridan struck out. Then Lemon stole second. Went to third on a wild pitch, and Ken Williams drew a walk. Now it's ball two, no strikes. He had been ahead of every hitter until Ken Williams came to the plate. Now he's behind Lovullo. Ball two, no strikes.
Looks like he's going to see a little slider here.
Well, he's not going to be the same pitcher. Behind in the count, runner at third base. He's got to be very careful he doesn't throw one by the catcher. Oh, he did. He threw him a fastball. Torrey says, where did that come from? Ball two, strike one. Crowd quiet at the moment. They have great expectations of this ball club, and if they do something here tonight, you're going to hear a big roar. Charlie Huff taking a lot of time. And a pop-up right at the plate. That should get him out of the inning as Petrelli comes back to put it away. Tigers strand two in the third inning. We go to the bottom of the third. It's still 0-0. Well, we're having trouble finding somebody at home. Our third trivia call went to Kim Coleman of Battle Creek, and Kim was not at home. Our fourth call tonight will go to Okemos, Michigan.
Okay, if you just joined us, here's the question. Who was the first manager of the Texas Rangers back in 1972? He managed for one season. The Rangers finished 6th. It's not Billy Martin. It's one of the greatest hitters of all time, Hall of Famer, played for the Boston Red Sox.
Big ovation for Buddy Bell as he steps in to lead it off for the Rangers. Buddy Bell, Steve Buechele, and Cecil Espy will be the batters against Jack Morris. Pitch is in tight to Buddy. He's the designated hitter, but if they need him, he can play first base or third base.
Likes the ball up, any place up in the strike zone. You have to keep the ball down.
And it's down around the knees for a strike.
Has done very well lifetime against the Tigers, 292.
Yankees just scored a run. They're tied 1-1 with Minnesota and still batting in the 5th inning. And the 1-1 pitch to Buddy Bell. Hit foul past third.
Buddy needs one more hit and it'll be 2,500. For Buddy, a 17-year veteran in the major leagues.
He's had a great career. His father was a major league ball player with the Cincinnati Ball Club. It's 1-2 as Jack Morris delivers. And he struck him out. Buddy Bell, a strikeout victim. That's 4 strikeouts for Jack.
Well, getting ahead of the hitters, Jack's able to do this. There's that great split finger pitch that again is not a strike, but the hitters cannot tell that until it's too late. They start their swing too soon.
Steve Buechele steps in. He succeeded to the third base job when Buddy Bell was traded away. This young man has a little punch. He had a couple of home runs against the Tigers last year that hurt. Takes it outside. Houston has a 3-0 lead over Atlanta. They're in the 3rd inning in Houston. Pitch is high. Ball 2. Ball 2, no strikes. Montreal a winner this afternoon over Pittsburgh in Montreal. The Cubs a winner at Wrigley Field over the Phillies 5-4. San Francisco plays in San Diego later tonight. Here's a strike. Cardinals and the Mets are off on this date. Mets won the opener yesterday 8-4. And Cincinnati a winner in their opener yesterday over the Dodgers. And the pitch to Buechele. It's high, ball 3. Ball 3, strike 1. Jack has struck out 4. He walked 1 in the 1st inning. Scott Fletcher. And the 3-1 pitch. Steve Buechele gets the 2nd walk off Morris. He's at first, 1 out for Cecil Espy. You see Sparky. Well, just a reminder now that coming up later will be our Bud Batter's Box home run inning. And if your name has been selected and a Tiger hits a home run, you're going to win $100 and a share of a $10,000 bonus at the end of the season. So stay tuned for that. You could be a winner. Pitch to Espy. He fouls it away. They've got Chris Brown at third base just about shaking hands with Espy. Cecil topped one his first time at bat, a high bounder behind the mound, and Morris had to make a whale of a play to throw him out. He's waiting on the 1-strike pitch. Changeup is low. 1 ball, 1 strike. I think Jack wanted that pitch. a double look into Rich Garcia. Rich Garcia, he's the crew chief, one of the American League's top umpires. There's a drive into the corner. This is extra bases. May get a run in. They're going to hold him at third, and the Rangers will have him at second and third. Gillespie swinging late, drove it into the corner in left field.
Well, pretty good piece of hitting by this young man. You see the ball tailing away, and all he's trying to do is punch it in the hole at short and third. He lines it down the left field line. Freddie Lynn does a good job of playing the carom off of left field. It looked like for a second that Buechele might be able to score all the way from first base.
So they have him at second and third, one out for Scott Fletcher, who walked his first time up. Everybody back on the infield except Brown at third base. And the pitch to Fletcher. It's a ball. A ground ball to third, art of the pitcher, and they could hold the runners. A ground ball anywhere else, and the Tigers will give up a run. This is knocked down and a base hit. That's going to score two. On to second goes Fletcher, and he'll go in with a double. Lavella got a glove on it. He couldn't hold it. It would have been a great play had he been able to flag it down. A two-base hit for Fletcher, and the Rangers take a 2-0 lead.
This ball was hit hard on this infield. It's almost like playing on AstroTurf. Very quick. You see he swings late also. Rifles the ball down the first base line. Lavella almost knocked it down, almost saved the run, but it went far enough in the right field where 2 runs could score.
A double, 2 runs batted in for Scott Fletcher. And the batter will be Palmeiro. Raphael bounced to the mound his first time up. 2-0, the Rangers lead it. 1 ball, no strikes to Palmeiro. Rangers had not had a hit until this inning. But the walk to Buechele, the double by Espy, then the double by Fletcher, scoring 2. Ball 2. Ball 2, no strikes. Tigers have not seen this young man, Palmeiro, but they've got a book on him. They know exactly how they want to pitch him. Ball 2, no strikes, and a strike on the outside corner makes it 2-1.
Palmeiro from Havana, Cuba, raised in Miami. This ball club may not get a lot of power, but they can throw a lot of good-looking hitters at you in a row.
He hits it into right field. Lemon back, way back, near the warning track. He'll put it away. And on to third goes Fletcher. That was a changeup, and the young man furnished most of the power, and he drove it deep into right center field.
And probably a home run at Wrigley Field, where Palmeiro played last year. Doesn't have a lot of power.
So the Rangers have a runner at third with 2 outs for Ruben Sierra, who struck out his first time up. Scott Fletcher tagging up on the long fly, easily moved over to third base. This fellow led the Rangers in home runs with 23, runs batted in 91, and runs scored 77 in 1988. Change up is high.
He also had 4 home runs last year against Tiger pitching.
And as you pointed out, he's much stronger, heavier. He's always a rather slender youngster. Pitch outside. Ball 2, no strikes. Jim and Fran Bennett and young son Clayton. I want to say hello to their friends in Flint and Weberville, Michigan. It's a little early to get the big crowds that we have here with Michigan fans. And a strike makes it 2-1. Tigers probably see more Michiganders here and in Anaheim than anywhere else. And they see a lot of them everywhere they go. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Look out. Good stop by Noakes. That ball hit well in front of the plate. And Matthew went down on all fours to block it. Take a look at it now.
Another straight changeup. And this is what you have to do as a catcher. You see the ball where you have to get your body in front of it. You don't try to catch it like a first baseman. You have to try to block it with your body.
Ball 3, strike 1. If he gets on, it'll be Julio Franco. And Sierra will jump on this one if he likes it. And he hits it deep into left field. Back goes Lynn. He's going to catch it on the warning track in left field. They get a couple of runs in the inning on a walk and 2 hits, strand a man. And at the end of 3, the Rangers lead it 2-0.
Tigers Baseball is brought to you by Metro Detroit's Quality Ford dealers, where their commitment to quality and good service makes them Detroit's best team. By Kroger, where you should look for the scissors, your symbol of savings. By Taco Bell, where your money always takes you farther. And by General Tire. Get on your Generals and go.
Well, we have a trivia winner, Al Kaline. Susan Swanson of Okemos. She correctly answered our question. She's won 2 tickets to a Tiger home game. And Al, what is the answer to today's Valvoline trivia question?
Well, the question was, who was the first manager of the Texas Rangers back in 1972? Of course, the great, the one and only Ted Williams.
Ted Williams. Here's a bunt attempt by Whitaker, and he fouls it away. Well, we're going to have another trivia question for you on our next pregame show. That'll be Friday, this Friday, opening day in Detroit. 2-0, the Rangers lead it. We're in the 4th inning. Lou Whitaker flied to center field his first time up. And a strike. He's got the knuckleball over. Strike 2 to Whitaker. Tigers had a chance in the 3rd. They had runners at 1st and 3rd when Lovella fouled out. And Lou fouls this one away. Big crowd on hand. Opening night in Texas. Only the 2nd time in the history of the franchise have they sold out on opening day. This one's outside. The Yankees scored another run in the 5th inning. They've taken a 2-1 lead over Minnesota. Minnesota batting in the bottom of the 5th. Outside again. Ball 2, strike 2 to Whitaker. Tigers have done very, very well against the Texas Ball Club. Ball 3. Well, he got out in front of Whitaker with a strike 2 count. Now it's ball 3, strike 2. Whitaker, Trammell, and Lynn, the Tiger batters here in the 4th inning. And the 3-2 pitch to Lou. This is foul. Ted Henry, the umpire at first base, making the call. Tigers have had only 2 base runners. A single by Lemon and a walk to Williams, both coming in the 3rd inning. And the pitch to Whitaker. He walked him. So the leadoff man is on. And the batter will be Alan Trammell, who struck out his first time up. Allen has hit very, very well in this ballpark.
A year ago, opening day, remember that, George Kell, in Boston, Fenway Park, 10th inning?
Off of
Lee Smith to win the ball game. Jack Morris was the winning pitcher in that game.
Just when it looked like Lee Smith was standing out there throwing nothing but smoke, Trammell smoked one up into the screen. A 2-run homer. Charlie Huff having a little trouble at the moment with his control. Something he was not doing earlier. He was getting out in front of everybody. Now it's ball 2, no strikes to Trammell. Let's see if he throws a knuckleball here. He's walked Whitaker, missed with the first 2 to Trammell. See if he comes back with a slider or something. And a drive into the corner in left field. Fair ball. That's extra bases. Whitaker's going to stop at third, and into second goes Alan Trammell. Looked like he threw him a slider, and Trammell jumped all over it into the corner in left field.
Well, you don't pitch Alan Trammell inside. He has the quickest bat on the Tiger team. Take a look and see where the ball is. The ball does hang inside. It was a slider that he wanted to get outside, and Allen rifles the ball down the left field line.
So the Tigers threaten here in the 4th inning. Whitaker's at third, Trammell at second, and the batter is Fred Lynn. Freddie popped it up his first time, and they're going to play back on the infield. Fred Lynn wants to pull it to the right side of the infield. Ooh, good stop by Petrelli. It's what you call a blind stop. He had to go behind the hitters. He could not see the ball. He just put the mitt down, and there it was. Pretty consistent, would you say?
I would say so. He had 7 after joining the Tigers last year.
An average of 23 for the last 7 years. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fred Lynn should handle knuckleballers as well as anybody. He's waiting on the 1-1 pitch, and he pops it up. Ooh, that's the last thing the Tigers want. So Fred Lynn is out on a pop-up to the catcher. And the batter will be Matt Noakes. They were hoping Lynn would put the ball in play on the ground to second or first at least to get a run in, move Trammell to third, but it didn't happen. Now it's up to Matthew. Noakes hit the ball hard his first time up. He lined it deep into center field.
Matt should hit knuckleballers well if he doesn't try to pull him, because he has a short, compact swing.
A strike to the outside corner. 1 strike to Matthew. This inning started with a walk to Whitaker, then a double by Trammell. Fred Lynn fouled to the catcher. Matt Noakes trying to get the runners in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Just a delightful evening here in Arlington. Almost a shirt sleeve crowd. See a few jackets, slip over sweaters, but very delightful. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Noakes. Matthew might have helped him out a little bit.
Well, you have to take advantage of Charlie Huff when he gets in a situation like this, because he doesn't give up very many runs.
He's out in front of Noakes with a 1 ball, 2 strike count as Charlie Huff gets ready. That'll even the count at 2-2. He wanted that pitch. This would be a big strikeout for him. They play Matthew well toward right field. Julio Franco on the edge of the outfield grass toward first base. And he strikes him out. Charlie Huff gradually pitching himself out of a jam here in the 4th inning.
Looks like a bad pitch. This pitch goes away from Matt. You can see there well out of the strike zone. And
so it's all up to Chris Brown. Runners still at 2nd and 3rd. Chris bounced to second base his first time. Whitaker and Trammell the base runners. Tigers down by 2. And a pitch inside. The hits are even in the game. Each team has 2 hits. The Rangers lead it 2-0. All 2, no strikes to Brown. If he should get on, Chet Lemon would be the batter. He's going to be very, very careful with Brown. He has first base open. Chris wound up the last few games in Florida, hitting well, going to the opposite field, up the middle. Ball 2, no strikes, ground ball to 3rd. That'll get him out of the inning. Well, Charlie Huff does a great job pitching out of a jam. Runners at 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. As we go to the bottom of the 4th. 2-0 Texas. The Rangers lead it as Charlie Huff stifled the Tigers in their top of this inning with a great piece of pitching. Here's Julio Franco, and he takes a strike. Julio struck out his first time up. Rangers have 2 runs on 2 hits. The Tigers no runs on 2 hits. And the pitch is inside. Don't forget now, Friday, Milwaukee will be in town, the home opener for the Tigers, and we're going to be there. We'll be telecasting for you on Friday before a sold-out, crowded Tiger Stadium, as always. Now we need to speak to the weatherman, get a little cooperation. We don't ask for much early April, just a little. It's 1-2 to Julio Franco as Jack Morris gets ready. And he struck him out again. That's twice he has gotten Julio tonight. And 5 strikeouts.
Well, Jack getting ahead of the hitters. A couple of quick strikes, and then he has the hitters fishing for those bad pitches in the dirt.
Pete Incaviglia bounced to third base his first time. This big fella came to spring training a couple of years ago and just impressed everybody. They didn't expect him to stay right out of college. And he promptly won a job. The 1-0 pitch. He pops it up. He hit him right on the fist, and Alan Trammell calls for it. So Incaviglia's out. That's the second out of the inning. And it'll bring up Petrali. Chino was a strikeout victim his first trip to the plate. Two outs, nobody on. We're in the bottom of the 4th. The Rangers lead it 2-0. Ground ball to Trammell. Long throw in time for the out, and another 1-2-3 inning for Jack Morris. At the end of 4, it's Texas 2 and the Tigers nothing. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network. Well, you can catch the latest highlights and scores along with Detroit's most complete news and weather. That's tonight after the game on the News 4 Night Beat. Tigers down by 2 as they come to bat in the 5th inning. Chet Lemon will lead it off. Pat Sheridan will follow, and then Ken Williams. Chester had a base hit his first time up. He got the first Tiger hit. Alan Trammell had the second Tiger hit. They've only had 4 base runners, a single, a double, and 2 walks. And as Al pointed out a moment ago, they let Charlie Huff get away in the 4th inning. You don't get too many chances.
They almost had to pick up 1 run that inning.
The 1-1 pitch to Lemon. It's a ball. Ball 2. Ball 2, strike 1. Minnesota is batting in the 5th inning. The Yankees lead 2-1. And a pitch outside, ball 3. Ball 3, strike 1 to Chet Lemon. He threw him a fastball. He says, I've walked enough hitters tonight. Ball 3, strike 2. See what he does on the 3-2 pitch. And another fastball. One big hop to Fletcher and out at first base. So Lemon is out. First out of the inning, and the batter is Pat Sheridan. Pat's been to the plate 1 time, and he struck out. Only 2 games going on. Well, 1 completed. White Sox beat California 9-2, and the Yankees lead Minnesota 2-1. Only 2 in the American League. 4 games on this date in the National League. There's a fly ball into right, not deep. Ruben Sierra camps under it. Well, Sheridan is out. Out number 2. It'll bring up Kenny Williams.
The last pitch, Charlie Huff threw a changeup knuckleball. Took a lot off of his knuckleball and had Sheridan well out on his front foot.
He's been there a few times, Charlie Huff. He knows exactly what he's done. Won 15 ball games last year. Lost 16 with a Texas club that did not do well. Pitches outside to Williams. Kinney popped to second base in the first inning. Then he drew a walk in the 3rd. One ball, 1 strike. They'll wrap this series up Thursday night here. And the Tigers fly home, open the season on Friday in Detroit. Rather interesting scheduling, Al. A Thursday night game. Tigers will get home in the wee hours of the morning and open at home on Friday.
They have made the Texas Ball Club move the game up 1 hour because the team was scheduled to arrive in Detroit 3-4 o'clock in the morning. And since opening day is the next day and everything gets started a little bit earlier with all the ceremonies, that they made the Texas Ball Club move the starting time up 1 hour.
This one's outside. Ball 3, strike 2. Don't forget the telecast. It was announced today at 5 o'clock that we will be telecasting on Friday. Opening day in Detroit. What a big day that always is. Fly ball to left. Shortstop drifting back. Incaviglia coming in, and Scott Fletcher will make the catch. So a 1-2-3 inning for Charlie Huff. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's Texas 2 and the Tigers nothing. Here's Here's our hotel just beyond the left field fence, the Harriton, I believe it says. Somebody shot the S out on it, but it is located just half block or so from the ballpark. Perfect for the ball players to walk over here. Fine accommodations. And a new hotel. It's been there just a few years. Buddy Bell leads it off, and he takes a strike. Buddy Bell, Steve Buechele, and Cecil Espy. This is the group that started the rally, the 2 runs on the board in the 3rd inning. Bell hits it foul past third. Buddy Bell opened the 3rd inning with a strikeout, but Buechele walked. Espy doubled into the corner and left, and Fletcher doubled to right to get the 2 runs in. And the Rangers got their first dividend on Scott Fletcher.
And you see where Buddy Bell hits the ball most of the time, pretty much straight away.
Had a good pitch to hit, fouls it away.
Buddy with Cincinnati and then over to Houston last year.
Now, he thought about retiring, but the money they make today, you think a second time before you retire.
Well, he wanted to come back to the American League where there's a DH, and certainly back here in Texas where he was a big favorite.
When he played here, he owned a home here, and he might still. It might have been part of the inducement to get him back here. Jack's got him in a hole with a strike 2 count. Morris has 5 strikeouts tonight. Just missed on the outside. One ball, 2 strikes to Buddy Bell. Ball hits the Trammell. Big hop to Allen, and he makes the play at first base. So Bell is out, and the batter will be the 3rd baseman, Buechele. The pitchers have been pretty much in control tonight. Only 2 hits allowed by Morris and 2 by Huff. Jack has walked a couple. Charlie Huff has walked a couple. There's a line drive base hit into right. Well, Buechele wastes no time as he lines it into right field. Number 3 for the Rangers.
There were a couple of pretty good opening days. O'Neill from Cincinnati, 4 for 4 plus a home run. Gibson had a good opening day in a losing effort.
Home run and a single.
Strawberry 3 for 3 again.
Howard Johnson, our good friend Howard Johnson, had a home run.
Hojo, name was in the paper quite a bit in spring training. Possibility of being traded. Now all of a sudden here he is, the starting 3rd baseman.
Cecil Espy had a double his last time up. A key base hit as he set the table for Scott Fletcher. One ball, no strikes. This fella sprays the ball around, so they're scattered out pretty good for him. Everybody moved up a step or 2 on the infield.
This guy also is very versatile, George. Last year we see Cecil getting the sign from Oliver. Played all the outfield spots. He was a DH, played first base, second base, shortstop, and he caught 1 game for the Rangers last year.
And a strike on the outside part of the plate. I tell you, if I could run like this young man, I'd take batting practice till you couldn't throw one by me. I'd bounce the ball somewhere. Get the bat on it. And if it takes 2 big hops, you're going to have trouble throwing him out. It's ball 2 and strike 1 as Morris delivers ball 3. Got it over, but low. Jack didn't think so. He's still a little bit bewildered. But Rich Garcia made the call. He's looking out at Jack as if to say that's it.
I don't agree with that last pitch with Jack Morris. He's throwing a split finger pitch to their leadoff hitter, and with the best part of their lineup coming up after him.
Ooh, Jack fell down and he walked him. Cecil Espy gets a walk.
Well, you knew you had to see that at least one time with Jack Morris pitching.
It came on a ball 3, strike 1 count, and of course the pitch went in the dirt, and Billy Muffet makes his way to the mound. Billy Muffet, the Tiger pitching coach. Quiet Billy Muffet.
And what a great job he does for the Tigers. You talk to any of the pitchers on this staff, and he can look at a pitcher and see the flaw in their windup and delivery as good as anybody in the game.
And he came in succeeding Roger Craig, which is about the toughest job in the world. Well, they have him at first and second for Scott Fletcher. Scott's double drove in the only 2 runs of the game in the 5th inning, in the 3rd inning. Now he bats in the 5th with 2 on and 1 out. Tigers in double play depth for Fletcher, who puts the ball in play. Fly ball into right center field. Lemon is there. He'll make the grab. Ball started out as if it was going into the gap and seemed to curve right back to him. So there's 2 outs. And the batter will be Palmeiro. Raphael is 0 for 2. Hit the ball well his last time up. Lemon had to go back on the warning track to get it. They're in the 7th inning at the Homer Dome in Minnesota. Yankees 2, Minnesota 1. Tommy John pitching a great ball game. If indeed, yeah, it is Tommy John, number 25 on the board. He was scheduled to pitch.
I saw in the paper today that the Yankees may sign Goose Gossett again.
Yeah, Steinbrenner says I want him. He will not be a free agent for a couple of days yet, but he says I want him. Here's a base hit into left. They'll get 1 run in. They're going to have to hurry to hold the second, and they'll hold him at 3rd. Oh, Espy made the turn. He wanted to go. You can see they almost had to hog time at 3rd base. Palmeiro slices it into left, and it's a 3-0 ball game.
Well, that's the way he hits, and that's the type of team that the Rangers will be this year. Not much power, but they'll hit the ball to all parts of the field. Brown almost made the play, but the ball was hit just too hard. Freddie Lynn, who had to hustle and made a good play, keep Espy from scoring from first base.
3-0 the Rangers. They have him at 2nd and 3rd for Ruben Sierra. Ruben hit it deep his last time up and fouls this one away. Well, the double by Palmeiro driving in the run is the 3rd double tonight for the Rangers. They have only 4 hits, but 3 of those have been 2-base hits. Jack taking too much time to suit Sierra. We're in the 5th inning. The Rangers lead it 3-0. And a couple of big runners out there now, 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs. And the pitch is outside. This is a pretty good compliment right here to Julio Franco, a right-handed batter coming up. And they're pitching to a left-hander. ball, 1 strike to Sierra. Well, that's the good changeup. He was well out in front. Makes it 1-2.
Jack takes a lot off this pitch. You see there with the great arm motion. And Jack normally is someone who, as we show you with that graphic, 75% of the time he throws a fastball.
It's 1-2 to Ruben Sierra, and he threw the fastball by him. Noakes will have to make the play at first base. Well, Sierra strikes out. They get a run in the inning on 2 hits and a walk, and at the end of 5, the Rangers 3 and the Tigers nothing. Here's our upcoming TV schedule, and it says right here we're going to be in Detroit on opening day on Friday. Milwaukee will be in town at 1 o'clock. Hope you can be with us if you're not at the old ballpark. Friday, Milwaukee and the Tigers opening day, and we'll be telecasting. Right now the Tigers are down by 3 as we go to play in the 6th inning. Lavella takes a strike. Torrey is flied to right and foul to the catcher tonight. Well, the 2 ladies that we see so often in the ballpark, Al, Elizabeth McAllister and Julia Spina Wilson, are here tonight. They say we're traveling Tiger fans. We've been to all the American League stadiums.
Great Tiger fans.
They were in spring training. I saw them in spring training. And the pitch to Torrey. Oh, he broke his bat, and it goes all the way to first base. How about that? Palmeiro made the play unassisted. Take a look at the way this bat shatters.
Boy, it looked like he hit it on the fat of the barrel, too.
Someone said they don't make bats like they once did. Here's Whitaker with 1 out and nobody on. Lou's had a walk tonight. He's 0 for 1. And a strike as he just floated that one over. Don Mattingly is out. He's not even with the Yankees and will not be with them. Here's one hit deep, way back in right center field. This ball is caught. He caught it high off the wall in center field. Cecil Espy went as high as he could and pulled it in.
Yeah, this was an excellent play by this young man in center field. And this brings all these fans to their feet. And he was kind of proud of this one, too, as he jumps up.
Yeah.
A little great play, if I must say so.
Second out of the inning, and the batter will be Alan Trammell. Allen's had a double and a strikeout tonight. Tigers' only real chance against Charlie Huff was in the 4th inning. A walk to Whitaker leading off the inning, then a double by Trammell. But they couldn't get him in. Freddie Lynn fouled out, Noakes struck out, and Brown bounced to third base. Ball 2, no strikes. This is where Trammell hit the double his last time up. 2-0. Threw him a slider. And he banged it into the corner in left field. And he got it on the outside part of the plate then. Ball 2, strike 1. Alan Trammell waiting on the pitch from Huff. And it's outside, ball 3. Allen played very well in Lakeland. Just the same steady Alan Trammell that you're going to see every day. pops it up. The ball may be in play. Buechele near the dugout. It is, and he'll put it away. We go to the bottom of the sixth. The Rangers 3 and the Tigers nothing.
Tigers baseball, brought to you by Ballpark Franks. They plump when you cook them. By your local Pepsi-Cola bottlers, a generation ahead. By Highland Superstores. Nobody gives you more, and nobody, but nobody, sells for less. And by GE Automotive. If you're a car maker or supplier, put their minds to work.
Well, the winner in the dot race was the red one, if you're interested. That's the most exciting thing you see around here.
I think the people bet on who's going to go out and buy the hot dogs. And
I don't know what they do, but they really go ape over the dot race between innings here in the bottom of the sixth. This is Julio Franco to lead it off. He hasn't had much luck against Jack Morris. Struck out in the second, struck out again in the fourth inning. Jack has 6 strikeouts. But he's behind 3-0. A strike on the outside part of the plate. They're underway in San Diego. The Giants scored a run. They're expecting great things from the Padres this year. They've made some big changes. There's a pop fly that should be an easy play for Chet Lemon. So Franco is out. 1 out in the sixth, and it'll bring up Incaviglia. Pete Incaviglia bounced to third, popped to the shortstop.
you see there 30 home runs in 86 and continually has dropped only 22 last year. And if he doesn't do a good job with the bat, he may not be a regular in the outfield for this team because they think they have a chance to win.
Now, he is their only real bona fide power hitter. He's got to hit 25, 30 in this part. This one over but low. Ball 2, no strikes. We're in the 6th inning in Arlington. Rangers 3 and the Tigers nothing. Same 2 clubs will play again here on Thursday night, late afternoon on Thursday. And then the Tigers open at home on Friday against Milwaukee. Ball 3. 3-0 to Incaviglia. They might turn him loose.
Well, they had nothing to lose by letting him take a real good rip. He hits the ball real well straight away.
And a drive into right center field. Lemon back to the warning track to get it. Incaviglia drives it to the opposite field, and Lemon is there to put it away. That's out number 2, and it'll bring up Gino Petrelli. Gino is 0 for 2. Gino Petrelli batting with 2 outs, nobody on. And the pitch is in the dirt. Houston has a 6-2 lead over Atlanta. They're in the bottom of the 5th. Playing in Houston. And the pitch coming up from Morris. Outside. Ball 2, no strikes. Talking about Hojo playing at third base for the Mets yesterday. They figured Jeffries, Greg Jeffries, who played so well in the playoffs last year. Here's a fly ball to right, and Lemon's going to make all 3 putouts this inning. At the end of 6, it's 3-0 Rangers. Well, here it is. This is our Bud Batter's Box inning. Going for the prize tonight is David Pierce from Mount Clemens, Michigan. Now, if a Tiger hits a home run this inning, David will win $100, and he'll also win a share of the $10,000 bonus at the end of the season. So good luck to you, David Pierce. Tigers are down by 3 as they come to bat in the 7th inning. Fred Lynn, the leadoff man. Fred's 0 for 2. Hop to second and foul to the catcher. Charlie Huff delivers a strike, and the count goes even at 1-1. Yankees got another run in the 7th, and they lead Minnesota 3-1. Ball 2, strike 1 to Lynn. And the 2-1 pitch. Ball 3. Tigers need a couple of base runners. Ball 3, strike 1 to the leadoff man here in the 7th. And a ground ball to first. Palmeiro flips it over to Charlie Huff. So Freddie Lynn is out, 1 out in the 7th. And it'll bring up Matt Noakes. Matthews 0 for 2. Tigers have only 2 hits. Have a double from Trammell and a single from Chet Lemon. Couple of walks. Kenny Williams walked, and Whitaker's had a walk. Matt Noakes hit it deep into center field his first time up. And here's a fly ball to right. Sierra puts it away. An easy play for Ruben Sierra, and 2 quick outs in the 7th inning. Charlie Huff mowing the Tigers down with a knuckleball. Slips in a fastball occasionally.
Tigers would probably rather be facing Nolan Ryan than Charlie Huff.
And they will be facing Nolan Ryan on Thursday.
They'll probably get many more hits against someone who throws hard.
This is Chris Brown. The pitch is inside. Chris has bounced out twice tonight. Two outs, nobody on in the 7th. And a foul ball. Milwaukee will be in Tiger Stadium all weekend. There's a pop-up on the infield. Palmeiro calls for it. And another easy 1-2-3 inning for Huff. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Rangers 3 and the Tigers nothing. Well, the 7th inning went by without a Tiger home run. And we'd like to thank tonight's designated Bud batter, David Pierce of Mount Clemens, for entering. And we invite you to enter by sending your name, address, and phone number to Bud's Batter's Box, Post Office Box 13239, St. Louis, Missouri, 63157. And you must be 21 or older to enter the contest. Here's Buddy Bell to lead it off, and Buddy fouls it away.
The DH is supposed to be someone who can swing the bat, but you can see there the Rangers last year, 197.
That's why they went out and got Buddy Bell. Well, there was a day when every time this fella swung the bat against the Tigers, it was a base hit. He had great success. Well, he's had a lot of base hits. He is nearing 2,500. Just getting the attendance, 40,375. 13th largest crowd, 3rd largest crowd on opening night. They thought it might be the 2nd largest, but the 3rd largest on opening night. 13th largest since they've been in Texas. 40,000 plus in the old ballpark. Buddy Bell fouls it back into the crowd.
I guess there's some talk around here that they might want a new stadium.
I would think they would. I would think so.
That's Arnsberg, who looks like he's going to get up and start throwing. Their short man is a guy named Russell, who was a starting pitcher last year, but he volunteered to be the closer for the Rangers.
This one's foul past third base. Yeah, they traded away their closer, Mitch Williams, to the Cubs to get Palmeiro. Ball 2 and strike 2 to Buddy Bell. Rangers batting in the 7th. They lead the Tigers 3-0. The pitch coming up from Jack Morris. It's low. Ball 3. Ball 3, strike 2. And the payoff pitch. Line shot into center that's going to drop in for a hit. Well, Buddy Bell gets his first hit tonight. Hit number 5 off Jack Morris, and number 2,500 for Buddy Bell, and they take the baseball out of play. Boy, that is quite an achievement.
Sure is. He's been quite a player. Of course, he's probably the most popular player that has ever played for the Rangers.
And he gets a standing ovation. And Jack Morris says, "We'll wait till everybody sits down." Here's Buechele. He's walked and singled tonight and scored 2 of the 3 Texas runs. Pitch is in for a strike. Buddy Bell becomes the 62nd player in the major leagues to get 2,500 or more hits. Pete Rose leads the pack with what, 4,400, some big number, more than Ty Cobb. Strike 2 to Buechele. He walked in the 3rd inning, scored on a double by Fletcher, singled in the 5th inning, and scored on a double by Palmeiro.
There's Frank Williams, one of the new players for the Tigers this year, warming up in the bullpen.
And the pitch to Buechele. Look out. This one is going to skip all the way into the crowd. Ball hit in front of Noakes. Off him into the seats. So down to second goes Buddy Bell. Take a look at it now. See what happens here.
Well, it looked like it hit off his shin guard. Well, actually it hit off of his arm. You get down in the ball game and everybody seems to relax a little bit. Noakesy, instead of putting his body in front of it to knock it and smother the ball down, the ball rolled up his shoulder.
Buechele hits it to the shortstop, and on to third goes Buddy Bell. He squared around trying to hit it to right field. Jack got it in on him. He bounced it down to Trammell, but slowly, which enabled Bell to go on over to third base.
And that's the key word, George. He hit it so slow that Alan Trammell could not get to it and throw to third base in time.
And really the key to it was the young man squared around. He was going to get him to third some way. He was not going to swing away and hit a fly ball to left. And he got him to third for Cecil Espy, who's had a double and a walk tonight. Big opening day for this young man. And a pop fly on the infield. They get him out with a runner at third. Second out of the inning. And leaves it up to Scott Fletcher.
It wasn't a very good effort on the very first pitch thrown by Jack Morris with a man on third base. You should wait to get your pitch to try to drive that man in.
Scott Fletcher has walked, doubled, and flied to right field. And he batted in the first 2 runs of the game. One ball, no strike. Runner at third base is Buddy Pell. He singled to open this inning. Went to second on a wild pitch and to third on a bounce out. One ball, no strikes to Fletcher, and a good stop by Noakes. Ball 2. Minnesota has scored a run in the 8th inning, and they're still batting. 3-2, Yankees lead it in the 8th.
You see how they like to pitch Scott Fletcher. They want to keep the ball down. He loves the high fastball because then he can place it where he wants to, usually up the middle or over the second baseman's head.
He should get a good pitch to hit. Left-handed batter coming up next. Got the change up in for a strike. Ball 2, strike 1. They cannot play back at third. This little fella can bunt. He's got a little speed, handles the bat well. Brown is near the bag. And a pop fly that's going to drop in center field for a base hit. He broke his bat and dropped it into shallow center. And it's a 4-0 ball game. Scott Fletcher has batted in 3 of the 4 Texas runs.
First baseman, Rafael Palmeiro.
That'll bring up Palmeiro. He doubled, drove in a run his last time up. Well, the Rangers taking advantage of a single, a wild pitch, a bounce out, and then a soft single to center by Fletcher. There's a strike to Palmeiro. Rafael hit the ball well his second time up. He flied deep to right. Then he doubled down the line, the left field line in the 5th inning. The complaint in Chicago against Palmeiro, he didn't have much power, didn't drive in enough runs. But he's awfully young to give up on. One ball, 1 strike. He fouls it away. 1-2 to Rafael Palmeiro. Rangers have out hit the Tigers 6-2, and they lead 4-0. Jack Morris gets ready, and the pitch is in for a strike. Palmeiro is called out on strikes. They get a run in the inning on 2 hits, strand a man. And at the end of 7, they lead it 4-0 over the Tigers. Here come the Tigers in the 8th inning. Chet Lemon, Pat Sheridan, and Ken Williams. Chester has had 1 of the 2 Tiger hits tonight. He got the first one back in the 3rd inning. Moved all the way to third base and was stranded there. And a pitch inside makes it ball 2. Well, look, a lot of people are moving to the exits. Kind of tough to get out of the parking lot here. You can get in a real jam. They figure Charlie Huff sailing along 4-0. They're going to head for the parking lot right now. $40,000 plus in the old ballpark tonight. And the 2-1 pitch to Lemon. This is fair ball off the glove of Buechele. He held him to a single. More than likely would have been a double had Buechele not knocked it down. So Lemon gets his second hit tonight.
Chester has been able to handle Charlie Huff rather well. A nice play by Buechele. He thought he should have made the play, but had he made that one, that would have been in the highlight film for sure.
We'll bring up Pat Sheridan, 0 for 2, struck out, fly to right tonight. 8th inning in Arlington. Tigers down by 4. And the pitch is outside to Sheridan. Pat Sheridan is the designated hitter for Sparky. He said in the paper today down here that Keith Moreland would be the designated hitter against left-handers. Here's a strike. One ball, one strike. Runner at first, nobody out. And action in the Ranger bullpen. Outside again. Ball 2. Ball 2, strike 1. We've got a breeze tonight, a pretty good breeze blowing toward right field. Ball carries very well in this park. And a strike. Got the fastball in about knee high. Pat may not see another fastball. Ball 2, strike 2. We'll make it 3-2. He might throw him a fastball. He doesn't want to walk anybody with a 4-run lead.
Now he wants him to hit. I just saw Jim Sundberg run down to the bullpen. I would imagine Jeff Russell is about ready to get up to start the throw.
Ball 3, strike 2 to Sheridan. And the pitch from Huff. He threw him a fastball and he popped it up. Palmeiro outside the bag at first base. Well, Sheridan is out. That's the first out of the inning. It'll bring up Kenny Williams. Kenny's 0 for 2. He's been on base tonight. He had a walk back in the 3rd inning. They are playing well behind Lemon at first base. Tigers down by 4. I don't figure he'll be running. So Palmeiro does not hold him on. There's a strike to Kenny Williams. Kind of a surprise starter in center field. Everybody thought it might be Billy Beane here on opening night. He's waiting on the 1-strike pitch. We'll even the count at 1-1. They're playing in the 9th inning at the Metrodome in Minnesota. Yankees 3, Minnesota 2. This one inside. Ball 2, strike 1. Don't forget Friday, opening day in Detroit. A sellout crowd, and we'll be telecasting for you. The Milwaukee Brewers will be in town. Milwaukee has a fine ball club. They've got some injuries right now, but a lot of people believe in that Milwaukee club. There's a pop fly into shallow right. Ruben Sierra camps under it. That's the second out of the inning, and it'll leave it up to Lovello. Torrey is hitless tonight in 3 trips. Well, the Tigers will go from one extreme to the other in this series, from the junk pitching, knuckleballing pitching Charlie Huff to the fireballer Nolan Ryan here on Thursday.
Nolan Ryan has to be one of the great athletes of all time.
Yeah. He's been a dandy for a long time. He's won 273 games in both leagues.
He's the all-time strikeout leader. And still throws in the 90s.
Ball 2, no strikes. The Mets had him originally, and they traded him.
Jim Fregosi.
Did they trade him for Fregosi?
Fregosi came from the Angels to the Mets. I don't know whether that was.
It was a third baseman. Joe Foy. Joe Foy, yeah. One of the real deals of all time. The Mets needed a third baseman. They traded Nolan Ryan away to get Joe Foy, who never did play too much in the major leagues. The 2-1 pitch coming up to Lovello. And a strike evens the count at 2-2. Ball 2, strike 2. 8th inning in Arlington. Tigers down by 4. And the pitch coming up from Huff. Ball 3. He hasn't walked anybody since the 4th inning. He's walked only 2 all night. So good control tonight for Huff, even though he's been ball 3 on a lot of batters. He's been able to get the slider and the fastball over when he needed it. We'll see what he throws 3-2 to Lovello. Fastball. Right bang. Torrey strikes out. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 4-0 Texas. Here come the Rangers in the 8th inning. They have a very commanding, it would seem, 4-0 lead over the Tigers. Texas scored 2 in the 3rd inning, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 7th. Tigers had one big threat tonight against Charlie Huff. That was in the 4th inning when Whitaker walked. Trammell double with nobody out. But Charlie Huff got Lynn, Noakes, and Brown without getting a ball out of the infield. Here's Sierra to lead it off in the 8th inning. Ruben has struck out twice and flied to left field. And a pop fly on the infield. Chris Brown calling for it. Well, Sierra is out. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 8th inning. And the batter will be Julio Franco.
Well, I think it's safely to say that Jack Morris has pitched well enough and should silence the critics that he might be losing it. Jack has pitched well enough to win this ball game.
Sure he has.
Just has not gotten any offensive support from his teammates.
Well, true to what he said, he has pitched much better tonight than he did in Florida. He said, I intend to pitch much better than I did in Florida. Julio Franco struck out twice and flied to right tonight. This guy is going to help this ball club. Julio he's a 300 hitter. He's waiting on the 1-strike pitch. Breaking ball inside. Evens the count at 1-1. Jeff Robinson will be the Tiger pitcher here on Thursday against Nolan Ryan. And the 1-1 pitch to Julio. Only get 1 and 2. He swung at a lot of bad pitches tonight.
Well, it might, with a new team, he's anxious to get off to a good start for his new teammates. Very unorthodox batting stance.
And he struck him out again. That's 3 times tonight that Franco has struck out. And 8 strikeouts for Jack Morris.
Well, we're seeing some very fine pitching from both sides. Jack Morris almost pitch for pitch against Charlie Huff. Just a couple bad innings for Jack Morris.
Pete Incaviglia. Bounced to third, popped it up, flied to right field his last time up. This one's out of play. 1 strike to Incaviglia. Young man used to get very much upset when they pitched in tight his first couple of years in the league. Someone probably told him, hey, they're going to pitch you in tight now and then. There's a fly ball into right field. Now right center, and they run together out there. I think Lemon came away with it. Nope, Kenny Williams came away with it. At the end of 8, it's 4-0 Texas. Well, let's take a look at our Ford American League scoreboard. Chicago beat California this afternoon 9-2 in Anaheim. And the Yankees have a 4-2 lead over Minnesota in the bottom of the 9th inning in Minnesota. 9th inning in Arlington. Tigers down by 4 as Lou Whitaker steps in. Whitaker, Trammell, and Lynn against Charlie Huff. Lou's had a walk tonight. Flied very deep into right center field his last time up. Espy made a great play to rob him of a hit. And the 1-0 pitch. It's a strike. Evens the count at 1-1. Lou has flied twice to the outfield and walked. And a pitch outside, ball 2. Ball 2, strike 1. Tigers have 3 hits tonight. 2 by Lemon and a double by Trammell. And a drive foul down the line and right. Well, it's been a great opening night for the Texas Ball Club. This fellow right here has held the Tigers in check. Rangers have scored 4 off Jack Morris. And the 2-2 pitch to Whitaker. This is foul. Lou Whitaker, the leadoff man in the 9th. Tigers trying to get something going. The 41-year-old Charlie Huff delivers the 2-2 pitch and a fly ball down the line and right. Here comes Sierra, and he's going to catch it. Good play by Sierra as he comes into the Ranger bullpen to pick it off.
Pretty good play. Fortunately for him, he's getting help from his teammates down in the bullpen, telling him how far he has before he gets to the fence. Of course, the fans are very pleased with the outcome of that last out.
So there's 1 out in the 9th, and the batter is Trammell, who's had a double in 3 trips. A strike, says Rich Garcia. It's all over in Minnesota. The Yankees 4 Minnesota 2. Tommy John the winner. Frank Viola takes the loss. Ball hit the shortstop. Fletcher on to first, and 2 outs in the ninth. But the little guy's a pretty good ball player. He can do it all.
Yeah, he's their spark plug. He's the guy who loves to play, and of course he's not only does it in the field, but he's led their team in hitting the last 3 years. Not as graceful as Alan Trammell, but he does get the job done.
Well, they're on their feet in Arlington, cheering Charlie Huff on to get the final out, to get the shutout as Fred Lynn steps in. Freddie's 0 for 3. And a pitch outside to Freddie. 40,000 plus, some 25,000 or so still in the ballpark. On a strike as he floats the knuckleball over. 1 ball, 1 strike to Fred Lynn. 2 outs, nobody on. Tigers down to their last out. A 1-1 pitch to Lynn, and a line drive base hit up the alley in left center. Freddie will hold with a single. So Freddie Lynn keeps it going with a 2-out single here in the ninth. And the batter is Noakes. Matthew looking for his first hit.
They're going to play well behind Fred Lynn at first base. Figure nobody's going to be trying to steal when they're down by 4 runs.
Tigers have 4 hits now. Rangers have only 6. But they've made them count. Here's a strike to Matthew. First trip to the plate, Matthew hit the ball hard. He lined it deep into center. Since then, he's been no problem at all for Charlie Huff. A strikeout and a soft fly to right. And strike 2 as he came right back to the knuckleball. Now they get on their feet again.
Probably going to see the real hard one now, and this is the one usually that they get the pass balls on, because he'll throw it as hard as he can. And the catcher sometimes can't react to it.
It's strike 2 to Matt Noakes. With the crowd cheering him on, he delivers on a drive into center. This is a base hit. So Matthew keeps it alive, and they sit down again. Maybe that's what the Tigers needed all night, the Ranger fans, to get up. Back-to-back singles by Lynn and Noakes. And the batter is Chris Brown.
Now we see Jeff Russell getting up, number 40. He is going to be, hopefully, their stopper out of the bullpen. They traded their stopper, Mitch Williams, to get Palmeiro.
Chris Brown is 0 for 3 tonight. He hasn't gotten the ball out of the infield off top. And a strike caught the inside corner. 1 strike to Brown.
Charlie Huff has led the Rangers 7 consecutive years in wins.
He's 1 out away. Tigers have 2 on, 2 outs. And it's strike 2. Well, he had 2 strikes on Lynn. He had a base hit. 2 strikes on Noakes. He singled. They're a little hesitant about getting up this time. They're about half and half. And the 2-strike pitch. He struck him out. It's all over. Chris Brown goes down swinging in the 9th inning for the Tigers. No runs on 2 hits. They strand a couple. The final score of the game, Texas 4, the Tigers nothing, and we'll be right back. Well, our Budweiser Tiger player of the game tonight is Jack Morris. Jack Morris pitched well enough to win here tonight. He struck out 8, allowed only 6 hits, but the Tigers could not get any runs for him. So, Jack, this Bud's for you. And we'll be right back after this message. Well, the Rangers got only 6 hits here tonight off Jack Morris, but they made them count. Scott Fletcher led the way. He had 2 hits. 3 runs batted in as they went on to beat the Tigers 4-0. For Al Kaline and Bernie Smilovitz, this is George Kell, hoping you'll be with us this Friday at 1 o'clock in the home opener in Detroit when the Tigers take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Once again, the final score from Arlington, the Texas Rangers 4 and the Tigers nothing.
Tigers Baseball has been brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. And presented by your Greater Michigan and Metro Detroit Ford dealers, where their commitment to quality makes them #1. Tigers Baseball, another reason why WDIV is first for sports.